Dave Bergman of the 1984 champions was a ball player's ball player as well as a manager's ball player. David, a lot of stuff has happened in Tiger Stadium, but in my time, one of the most incredible things I ever saw was that home run you hit in 1984 against Toronto when you fouled off, I think it was 17 million pitches. Now, you got to tell me about that moment. It was very special.
Well, Joe, as time goes on, the story gets better and better. It was a classic moment for me. As you well know, one of my things that I always took a lot of pride in is just helping the ball club. Because of the talent level that I had, I knew that I wasn't going to be a superstar, and I was just somebody that kind of plugged in the little cracks that were there every now and then. So when I was able to help the ball club, that particular at bat, it just made me feel really wonderful. But anyways, I believe it was the 10th inning, and the score was tied 3-3, and Roy Lee Jackson was pitching. And Roy and I go back a long ways because we were teammates in winter baseball. So I knew the type of competitor that he was, and of course he knew the type of competitor that I was, and neither one of us were going to give in that situation. So I really didn't think that there was going to be a walk involved in that at bat. And he just kept challenging me, and I kept swinging hard, closing my eyes. I found over my career, the more times I closed my eyes, the better I was. But I just kept falling off all these pitches, and then...
How many?
Well, it was a total of 13 pitches.
13 pitches?
I think it was 7 in a row after the count was 3-2. And again, because I've heard the story so many times, it gets better over time. In fact, some of these fish that you see on my wall, they've grown twice as big as what they really, really were. But anyway, it was just a classic at bat, and then he threw me a slider down and in, and actually it was a pretty nasty pitch that he threw, and I hit it out of the ballpark. And to this day, my mom is still disappointed at me because I didn't do cartwheels or jump up and down and put my hands in the air like some of the players do. But that just wasn't my personality. I was kind of a boring player that just went out and did my job.
David, you are an introspective guy. I knew you as a thinking ball player. What are you going to miss about this ballpark?
It's a very, very cool subject to talk about, because the things that I'm going to miss are the conversations with Frank Fennick on the field about how is first base, is it the way you guys like it, the grounds crew and making sure that everything is done the way the players would like for it to be done, that real family atmosphere. I'm going to miss the locker room, the smallness of the locker room, because there's so much fun that takes place in the locker room. And because the locker room was small in Tiger Stadium, you could yell from one side of the locker room to the other side of the locker room to a teammate, and he could hear you. And some of the comments that I make now about some of the newer ballparks is that the locker rooms are so big, it's almost a long-distance phone call on the other side of the locker room. So you're going to lose that closeness. I'm going to miss the old urinal down in the runway. That was basically a trough on the side of the wall where you'd go to the restroom. Everything now is so customized and so nice. But to me, playing baseball is getting dirty, tearing up your uniform, maybe having some spit on your face and sweat and the eye black dripping all over the place. And Tiger Stadium represented that type of baseball.